You're watching Weekend at Gabe's and I'm Weekend Gabe. This latest episode was brought to you by the good folks over at the Ghetto Flower. Use our code W at G for an exclusive 15% discount when visiting their site. Tell them I sent you. Now enjoy the show.
All right, let's get into our next guest of the night. He is the co-host of Industry Night over at the Subterranean twice a month. They're holding it down with DJ Scully, bringing you the livest and freshest new voices in the hip-hop game. It is a pleasure to introduce Jay Heavy onto the show. Good evening.
Hey, am I good?
We got you. We got
We
you.
got you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Another problem, but we're not
we were
going to that.
we were just discussing industry night, what it means to have all these underground artists in the building. Give us a little bit of background on how all this started with DJ Scully and how you got from making beats like you were doing before the show to now co-hosting this incredible event.
Well, I think it stems from when I went to engineering school at SAE, and the first thing that they said is nobody cares that you make music, and it was kind of like a loopy thing. That's literally what they said first day, and I'm like, damn, that's how you open orientation up. But then I thought about it, nobody really cares. A lot of people they don't dive deep into being an artist or being in the music industry. They just see the fame and the celebrity, and it's like, okay, that's cool. I rock with him. And if they happen to like the music, it's a plus. But as things have grown towards the future, people care more or less about the music, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't think that's everybody's. I think people care more about the image and everything. So that was a big thing with me. And I said, okay, I have to make sure I make the music that I would want to hear, because if you don't like your own work, how do you expect other people to like your work? So, that's one thing that really drives it. And then also, as a lot of artists say, you don't make a lot of money doing music because the streaming splits are terrible. The way music has moved throughout the world, growing and everything, artists make less money actually making music unless they're independent, but that's a whole nother thing inside of itself. And so it's all about different streams of income, and also about if since I'm a person that cares about music and I want to see the state of it get better for other artists, and if they want to dive into that, then I have to be able to make opportunities. And I've known DJ Scully for about maybe, I want to say 4 or 5 years, 6 years almost, maybe, because I met him out of SAE when I graduated in 2015. And he's always been the type of person that if he likes your music, if he likes what you're doing, if he likes how you handle yourself as a business person, he's going to be looking for opportunities because he cares about the music scene. And now I'm another person that cares about that. So after the pandemic, sorry, I couldn't get that out. I don't know why. But after the pandemic, there were not a lot of rap shows going on in the city. There were shows going on, but for the underground scene, there were not a lot of rap shows going on in the scene. So I told Scully, hey, we should get into this. I want to do a show. I want to, make opportunities. I want to get our name out there so we can broaden the horizon for everything. So he was like, okay, let's do it. And like, if I'm not mistaken, when I said that same day he was heading over to SubT and they were doing a residency with him, and he was like, we could just do it here. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I was expecting this to be like a 2 to 3 day thing, maybe a week, maybe, we figure something out. No, he's like, yeah, I'm heading over there right now. I'll tell him. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. I'm like, okay, it kind of took me back, but it was more of a happy, anxious rather than scared. It's like, oh, you got something you asked for. That rarely happens when you're trying to do things in this world. Like, you want to do something, but there are other steps that lead up to that. And I mean, not saying that I got away from that, because there were things, like I said, I performed with him. He knows that I'm going to come, I'm going to put on a good show. I'm going to interact with other artists. I'm going to network and, spread my knowledge or wisdom or opportunities or even my skills that I have to other artists and everything, because that's what it's all about. So, yeah, that's really how it got started. And, it's just been really, really good ever since it started. Like, we had like maybe one bad show if you really want to put bad show on it, but I feel like every show is an opportunity, and that's something that's needed, so I wouldn't consider
Right.
anything bad. But for the most part, the turnout has been very welcoming because we're throwing it on a Monday. We got one Monday, the last Monday of the month, and people come like, oh, I've heard about industry. They tell them, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm doing something that helps, with people that need some way to get into the industry or some way to get into the Chicago scene, or just like trying to follow their dreams or whatever. You could be a photographer, videographer. It just gives people a chance to network, and I think that's what matters the most. And I think that's what I wanted out of this the most, was for me to be able to network, and for other artists, up and coming artists, to be able to network as well.
Word.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the curation of artists. Like, I know you have like a submission email that people can, try to get onto the lineup. But like, when you're listening to the artists, what are you checking for? What stands out to you? What sort of, pulls on your ear, or what kind of uh, type of artists are you looking for, if any, that you think that this would be a great fit for what we're trying to do?
Well, my music taste is very broad. I have a rule about if I'm listening to music, like I give everything. I feel like people that listen to music don't really listen to music, and you have to give everything an honest and true chance. Like,
Hmm.
just sit there, no bias, and actually listen to it and see if it grabs you. Because I find myself sometimes, I'll be driving home and I'm listening to a shuffle of my whole library, and I'm like, I haven't listened to this song, and this is really good. Who is this? I'm like, oh, this is somebody either I know or I don't know, but music just grabs me. So I actually don't have an email submission. I actually need to do that because everybody's
Oh,
just
okay.
in my DM. And everybody's just in the DM. So I'm like, making sure I try to separate everything and make sure I have the submissions in one DM and everything. So what I do is, I go about my day. If I'm at work, I listen to music at work. I just listen to the submissions and I see what grabs me, what makes me feel a certain type of way. What song I hear and be like, what, I want to see them do that live. I really like that song. I want to see them do that live. And for genres, I've been to a couple of the metal shows with Junebug and Fatboy Goth, and
Shout out to
those
June.
shows are shout out to those shows
Same.
are completely a different experience. And if you it's a I can't even explain it. It's a completely different experience, and it's just I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I mean, I like rock music, I like indie music, I like pop music, I like metal music. I like it's funny. Some people have shown me. I'm like, yeah, I like this certain genre. They're like, oh no, that's like surface level. And then they send me something. I'm like, oh, I see what you're saying, and I dive deeper into that. So I'm not just trying to make opportunities for rap artists, and I don't want anybody to think that. And I do have a little something
Mm.
coming up for that, but that's on the that's on the low. I'm working on it. It will be coming soon, but I'm working on it. But I try to make sure I leave no stone unturned, because that's how you lose out on opportunities. That's how you miss out on things. Another thing they told me at SAE, they said never say no to the job. You might not know it, but you might know somebody who does know it, and you can bring them on with them, and they see it as an opportunity for themselves. And that's really stuck with me. Like, people ask me all the time, how do you do this? I'm like, dude, I just listen to their music, and then I figure out a show that correlates well with other artists. So I'm not just putting artists in different slots, and I'm just slapping them on there. Like, no, I actually want people to be like, I enjoyed this show throughout, like from the beginning. You can catch it in the middle, it's still gonna be good. You can catch it at the end, it's still gonna be good. So I kind of it's not a real complex um situation. I just really just listen to music, and I just try to find out, what grabs me, what I think will sound good at a show. I
Right.
try to check out their IG and their fan base and everything, but I more so try to keep it on the musical aspect, because if people love music, and if you can put something together that somebody has never heard of from multiple artists, they can be like, oh, I actually enjoyed this night. I met some new people. I heard some new music, because everybody's tired of the radio. That's what I hear. So, and then
Somebody, a
yeah,
little birdie told me the radio was dead. I don't know.
I don't listen to the radio. I got a streaming platform. I don't listen to the radio. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like,
no, but it seems like the difference between sort of what because you're the format itself is not necessarily new. There are other showcases around the city. There are other people to do this, but I think what makes you guys special and the traction that you guys are gaining now is because you give that care and attention. You give that curated mind to it. And DJ
right,
Scully, to his credit, I think the story that you told earlier is an example of my point here. He is a worker. He is going to work. He is gonna clock in and do the work, and he needs somebody like Jay Heavy to think about the music solution,
Right.
think about the curation behind it, and that's why I think y'all got such an interesting team and an idea going over there. We one of the interns asked in the pre-production meeting about this that why little fish essentially because you could do this same thing with a bunch of big fish and get all kinds of money, all kinds of accolade, whatever it is, but you're spending time going back and helping bring people up.
Right.
So why do that?
um, it's funny. It's kind of like a double-sided answer because it's for me and it's for DJ Scully, but it's ways to help people and help yourself at the same time.
Mm.
And I think that's what Chicago lacks. Everybody thinks, once I get to this certain spot, I'm gonna gatekeep everything, and it's all for me. And then we're sitting here wondering why our favorite underground artist is taking forever to blow up. Well, that's because the opportunities are just so thin. They're just so thin. Like I said, you would think after the pandemic stopped, we can go outside, we can do shows. You would think everybody would pop out with a show. Everybody. We only got one night a month, and this is the most consistent thing that I see. And shout out to Messy Mondays. A lot of people don't know about that, but I know a lot of people should. I've been there. I've talked to people, but it's just the opportunities for like live rap shows are just so thin. I hear about so many open mics are being taken away, and it just seems like you like I said, you would think that once it was over, things would pick up, or it will open everybody's eyes up and say, this is an opportunity to do this and this opportunity to do that, and I'm gonna take the chance. But it just seems like it just wasn't happening because I'm an avid showgoer in Chicago. You can catch me at a show. I'm not gonna say I go to every show.
We see
but
you
I try
outside,
to make
Heavy.
it.
We do see you outside.
You're gonna see me outside. You're gonna see me at a show. You're gonna see me at a show, and and I think that matters into knowing, what it takes to throw a good show. What people are looking for, the dynamics, where you're having it. Is it accessible to everybody? Because we have people coming from the suburbs, all the way up north, out south. We have people coming from different locations. You have to put those things into retrospect, and I feel like SubT was a good landmark. Everybody knows about SubT, and it's really about doing what I said I want to do. Okay, so when I first started doing music, I said, I want to be the biggest rapper in the game. I feel like everybody says that. Okay, but there's other ways to do that without just being a rapper. I've had to learn that as I've kind of formed my business mind into what I do and how I carry my business, and with Q and everything, and over time missing out on opportunities, missing out on South by Southwest, and just trying to cultivate everything to make sure that everything's running smoothly. I had to take a step back and look at other things, because it is hard out here. If you don't have a ready-made team when you're coming into this independent game, it's very hard for people to navigate, because people don't have the knowledge about what they need to do, where they need to go, who they need to talk to. And unfortunately, on top of that, it's like a clout game in Chicago. It's like, you know what? I'm not rocking with you until you get to a certain point. But even when you get to that point, people still don't run a rock with you, because now you competition for real, because you're doing your own thing. When in actuality, I'm not trying to compete with you. We can just do something and do something big, and it could be about both of us, because clearly we were both there. So I don't, it's too much energy. It's too much energy to compete with people. It's too much. And I'm competing with myself every day, because I have high standards for myself. Competing with other people it's just way too much energy. So I'd rather help than make enemies or make, you know, competition for myself, because rap is already a competitive sport. You have to come out and not a competitive sport, a competitive career, I should say. You have to come out and prove yourself every time you release something.
Right.
You have to damn near prove yourself everywhere you go. Even though you could be as good as you want to be, but people just expect more. They expect more. They expect more. So you already have that on yourself, and now you're competing with people that are in the same field as you. And I'm not saying competition. You should not. I'm not saying you shouldn't want to be great and you shouldn't want to be good. But at the end of the day, this is all subjective. People find some of the greatest rappers or greatest artists or greatest musicians. They find them and say, I don't like them. People are going to say that. That's never going away. Everybody's not going to like everybody. And that's the good thing. And that's a bad thing. But it's more so a good thing because it's an opportunity for everybody. But we're so stifled in this, I just want to be above everybody, and we can't. You wonder why everybody says it's a crab in the barrel mentality. So you know, if I like it, I like it. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, you know, I don't like his song because you know he made a song that's hot right now. That just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So I'd rather just give you your props. Hey, you know what? Here, I like this. I'm gonna do this for you. If you're trying to get paid, we can work on that. If you want an opportunity, we can work on that. And I feel like that's another thing. We do pay artists. We do book artists. We're not just out here moving we're not moving funny. You know, we're very professional about how we do this because we want the best for us and we want the best for you as an artist. So you can move yourself along. We want this to be a stepping stone for you. So you can be like, I did this. This many people were there and they loved me. I gained this many followers, all the other things that come with that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What I was mentioning to Sam while we are trying to get you back online is that I love the ambiance of what we're seeing in some of the highlight clips you have on the Instagram of how people are like thoroughly invested into who's performing. You don't see a lot of, staring at their screen or a lot of, arms folded and just mad that they're not performing and that someone else is. A lot of judgment, body gestures. So talk about like the importance of sort of building that welcoming environment and why that's so needed right now.
I feel like it's so welcoming and people feel like and people enjoy it because we're welcoming. We're not like, we're not somebody who can't get in contact with me. If you're trying to get on the show,
you're a real person.
DM me. I'm here. Like if you're trying to do that, come talk to me. If I'm running around and I can't get to you, that's different. But if you catch me and you talk to me, or if you DM me, we can talk. We can figure something out. I'm down for. Like I said, I'm not turning down no job. I'm gonna figure out a way to be a part of it because it's all about being multifaceted. And I feel like that's something Chicago really needs because I'm not saying it's not people here like that, but it's just so far few in between. People are so wrapped up in themselves and so wrapped up in what they got going on. And there's nothing wrong with being focused and worrying about what you have to do because that's what you have to do in life in general. But some people just don't take the time to, appreciate what's around them or appreciate what they're in. It's either you're worried about the past or you're planning for the future and you're not living in the now.
Right.
And I feel like, those Mondays are about what's happening now. Like we bring out artists that people know and we bring out artists that people don't know. But the same reaction is, I really liked it. I really like that song, or I really like that artist. Who is that? I want to follow them. Okay, yeah, cool. You can go talk to them. They're right there. Yeah. It's not you don't have to. I don't want it to feel like it's something you can't get in contact with. Because once that happens, then it feels like you're holding people out from opportunities. And I don't want to ever feel like I'm holding you from opportunity. You might not get the opportunity when you want it, but I'm going to work to get you that opportunity. And I think that's what people take from it the most, and that's what they enjoy the most because they know that it's accessible. You have a possibility to get paid, or you have a possibility to perform and probably in front of a big crowd if you're just starting or if you're underground and you haven't had that many big crowds. Because I go to shows, and people don't like the support, and that's another thing. People talk about what's going on in the city or what's not going on in the city, but that you guys don't go out and support. For like years, I would just go to shows. Oh, you performing? No, I'm just going to support. I just want to see what's going on. I just want to enjoy the night and listen to some music. People don't do that. They only pop out for something it's either their friends or it's directly related to them. I've popped out to events where I knew nobody, but I know somebody who's at the event that might be performing, but it's a whole room of people that I have not met. And I feel like, like when I get to those places, people introduce me, they say he got this going on, and they're like, "Oh yeah, for real." I'm like, "Yeah, come talk to me. We can work on something. We can work." It's all about networking, and I feel like that's very important for us to keep growing and to keep garnering attention and to keep people, invested, because like I said, if we start saying, oh, we're only going to do big artists, then people feel like, okay, well, this is something that's not for me.
Right.
What am I going for?
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's really about connecting with the scene, because it's a lot of people out here that have some really great music, and it just goes unseen because everybody is focused on one genre or one artist or one group or whatever. And when it's just so much stuff to go around, I don't understand why it's not easier for you to do it. It's
Sure.
The scene here makes it so hard for you to operate as an artist because everything is just so blocked off by these invisible restrictions that aren't even real.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Real quick, because we're running out of time here, give us a 3-sentence preview to Industry All Stars, an event that you are curating on the back end of all of these great events that you put together.
Okay. We're going to be using multiple artists that we felt just really had a good show from all the industry nights. We might throw in some other artists that we're looking at, but it's gonna be like an all-star weekend type thing. It's not gonna be on the weekend. We're looking towards a Thursday or Friday, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But we're working on to see if it's gonna be 2 days or 1 day. We're working on that, and it's going to be really special because I feel like we've talked about it, but people don't know about the things behind it, and we're going for bigger because I'm going for opportunity, so we're going for bigger. We leveling up. That's another thing. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get it's a lot of stuff going on. I have a lot of plans. Me, Scully, Q, we have a lot of plans, and it's all about giving back to this community and giving to ourselves.
Word. Last one from me before we get out of here. I originally phrased this question as the best artist you've seen thus far, but I want to change it a little bit. What's the best set you've seen thus far?
Best set I've seen thus far.
It don't got to be the greatest music you've ever heard. I'm talking about live and in the room. You were like, God damn.
At my show or shows I've been to?
At your show. It's got to be your show.
Your show. No, your show.
Gotta be my show. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna do 3. I'm gonna do 3.
Okay,
I got
3 is cool. I'll let you have it.
So I love the energy that Vela Self and Kill Carter brought. That was like the first show. They were complete. They were so lit. It was crazy. The second one is a tie between a group that I found out about this year, which is the Launchpad Chicago. Go check them out on IG.
Shout out the Launchpad.
Going on. And the multi-band set. I'm telling you, the multi-band set was crazy. Multi-band set was crazy. And that one kid, Ryan, that's actually his name on Instagram, but his stage name is Ryan. He really surprised me because I didn't even know it was actually a problem with him and his people being in there because they were like underage. They were like 18. And, the guy at the door was like, we might have to kick him out. I'm like, damn, he didn't even get to perform. I'm like,
oh, wait, I remember, bro. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
incredible.
and he come like when I first heard his music, I was like, oh, I gotta find a show for him. But when I heard it live, I'm like, dude, he on stage like he been rapping for years, and he no vocal track in the back, just him straight raw vocals hitting every word. I was just taken back, and I think. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'll go.
Word.
It's because it's a lot. It's really a lot.
It's a
'Cause I
lot.
find new
It's a
gems from
lot. And
every.
and
I
the
find
next
new
best
gems in
one
every show
might
I
be
do.
tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like
It really could happen. It really could, because like I find a gem in every show. I find a couple gems in about every show that I work on, because that's really how much I'm looking, and to see, just what's out there, because you don't know what's out there until you look. So get tapped in. It's out. It's free. It's out there. It's waiting for you.
hell yes.
It's there.
All right. Well, Jay Heavy, thank you so much for joining us. The next industry night at the Subterranean is May 30th. That's last Monday of the month. Is that right?
Yes.
On Memorial Day? All right.
Yes,
Look, day off,
yes,
too.
yes.
So no excuses, folks.
Look, it already be lit, and people be having to go to work. It's Memorial Day, so we know you off. So if you ain't got nothing to do, hey.
You know where to find the man with DJ Scully.
You know where to
SubT.
find me.
That is the spot to be last Monday of the month, Industry Night. Thank you once again, Jay Heavy. It has been an honor.
Appreciate
and a
that, you guys.
pleasure.
Appreciate that.
All right. Jay Heavy joining
Appreciate
us
that.
tonight on Weekend at Gabe's. And that's going to wrap our show for tonight. A wonderful show. We had Rapping Sports, like I said, man.
Rapid Sports, baby. That's the show. That's the show, Gabe. That's the
All
show.
right.
That's why we do this.
Thank you for watching the latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's on YouTube, brought to you by the Ghetto Flower. Make sure to also click on the links in the description for more information to our guests and access to exclusive new music from the Ghetto Flower and so much more. Make sure to also like and subscribe to the show, and also continue to share, support, and show love by clicking on any of the links surrounding my head. Thanks for watching.